Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today, we are going to be trying a little bit something different on this channel. Yes, we're going to be doing another tier list just like we have done in many times before, but today, we are going to be doing a tier list for, I'm calling it the LCS casters. I think that makes the best kind of title for the video and for this list and stuff, but really, it is a list of the LCS kind of on-camera talent, I guess, is broadcast talent. It's not just casters, not only people that are casting the game, but anyone helping with hosting, interviewing, analyst desk, all that stuff, because LCS did tweet out their official on-air talent team for this season, which I believe is 17 members total. And there are some people I'm really excited about. There's some new members that people are hyped up about, but there's also some people that I'm surprised they're bringing back or bringing back again or haven't moved on from or whatever yet. So hopefully this will be a fun tier list. Hopefully this is something you guys do enjoy watching. I know this is super different. It could do pretty well. This video could do really bad also. But it seems like everyone has really strong opinions about what they like in terms of casters and broadcast talent and everything. So hopefully we should have a nice little discussion. I'm definitely going to have some controversial opinions and all that. Maybe I'll hate on your favorite caster, or maybe I'll love somebody that you hate. But yeah, I'm going to tell you guys my thoughts heading into this season. Definitely you guys give your thoughts and opinions as well. But just like anything, these guys are improving over time. Some people are getting better. Some people are getting worse. Some people are trying up different styles. Some of it works. Some of it doesn't. And it's just my opinions, just based on what I like watching, what I like hearing, what I like listening to. But before we get into that, I just want to mention real quick, if you're not already subscribed, definitely click that subscribe button really quick. It's fast, it's free, it's easy, helps you guys stay up to date on all my latest content, and I would appreciate it a ton. Also, dropping a like on this video would help me out immensely. If you enjoy my content, if you do end up liking this video, it helps me out with the YouTube algorithm a ton, getting my videos out to other people, especially when we do something like this, which is kind of a different style video that might not get as many views. If it gets a lot of likes, hey, YouTube might run it up. YouTube might push it out a little bit. But with that being said, here we go, getting right into this. My LCS caster tier list. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for this. So first up, a couple guys that I don't know anything about. Keen Lam, I don't really know anything about him. Honestly, I've never heard him talk. I've never seen him on air. I've never seen him, at least to my knowledge. Maybe I have without knowing it was him, seen a YouTube video or anything from him. So I don't really know how he is as far as on-camera talent. I know I see him on Twitter a lot. I know he's pretty popular. I know people really like him. It'll be interesting to see what he does with the LCS, but I don't feel comfortable placing him anywhere because I literally know nothing about the guy. Next up, we have Spawn, who I would have in the B tier. For me, B tier is good, and I'm fine with them, but they don't really bring anything extra special to the table that's not super replaceable. So I think, like, S tier is the GOATs, A tier is, like, good, and it would be hard to replace. B tier is, like, you're fine, but you're replaceable. C tier is, like, you know, you're teetering. D tier is like you're bad, and then F is you are just the worst of the worst. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here. B is very very solid. I don't have really any major issues with Spawn. Think he's well spoken, think he's knowledgeable about the game, think he can be funny, think he has good personality, good energy, a lot of good stuff. Just nothing that really stands out. Like when I think about Spawn, there's not like one thing that's like, oh, Spawn is the best at this, or Spawn is great at this, anything like that. Not necessarily a knock on him, and obviously I haven't got to watch him as much as maybe some other on-air talent and stuff like that, but Spawn's not a guy of mine. Happy to see him in the LCS. I think it'll be fun. Next up, we have Mark Z, who I'm also going to be placing into the B tier. Mark Z, another guy that I like a lot. I think he is interesting. He can be funny. He can be like the cool guy. He can be like the analytical guy. He can be like the awkward, weird guy. He seems to do a lot of different things, and he's really done a lot of different stuff with Riot, with the LCS, and I do think it's cool how he's kind of worked his way up through the scene, become more popular. He seems to be a pretty well-liked guy. But again, I feel like a lot of people could be Mark Z. I feel like Mark Z doesn't have any necessarily special talents. Yeah, he is a pretty good analyst. He has a good mind for the game, a good eye for the game, says some smart stuff. But, you know, he's not particularly well-spoken, not particularly knowledgeable about the game. Like, he's not really bad in any area, but I'm not like, wow, Mark Z is so talented as an on-broadcast talent. Riot would be a fool to let go of him. Like, no, he's good. I like having him in the LCS, but there's, you know, he could be replaced, but, you know, for the meantime, I'm happy with him. Next up, Latigris, another B tier. We're starting out with a lot of just these average people at the beginning. Latigris is somebody who I initially didn't really like. I was like, I don't really know how I feel about this chick, but she's ended up doing a pretty good job. She is very, very professional, very well spoken. She can be a good host. She can be a good interviewer. She's maybe not as fun and crazy and wild and won't take as many chances as some other people. So again, she doesn't really necessarily stand out to me immensely. I just think she's she is what she does what she wants to do. She is very, very professional, and great at what she does. But again, to me, it's not enough to like push her up high. I like having her on the LCS. I think she's a solid acquisition. And yeah, if they kept her around, I would have no issue with that. But again, I think there's a lot of Tigresses and a lot of people with her level of talent out there. I've done a lot of speaking for. I've ran into a lot of people. I've sat in on a lot of speakers and stuff. And she doesn't have anything that really stands out to me. She's not bad at all. And I don't mind when she's on the broadcast or anything. But again, I do think she leaves some to be desired. Next up, we have Raz, who is another B tier for me. I promise, guys, everyone is not in the B tier. But Raz, again, he has a lot of good things about him. He has great charisma, great energy. He kind of brings like some attitude, he has a very, very high confidence. And I think that's cool, and people do enjoy watching that and stuff. But I don't really love his style. I don't know exactly what it is. Again, I'm not upset that Raz is coming over to the LCS. I'm excited. I follow him on Twitter. I think he has some good takes every once in a while. I think he has a good mind for the game. Does a lot of good stuff. But to me, he's not just in that upper tier of like, I need to have him. But yeah, no, I think Raz is just a solid on-air talent. I think he will be good for the LCS. I'm excited to have him. Excited to see some more of him. This might be more of a controversial opinion. I'm going to put Emily Rand in the D tier. I know this is going to piss a lot of people off because she has like a cult following. And I've heard she writes up amazing articles. I've heard she's very, very intelligent. And that's great, but one, I don't really care for articles that much. I didn't really ever read those ESPN articles. There's a reason that ESPN is shutting down their esports division because nobody read those articles. And yeah, it's good. There is a place for writing articles and stuff. It's kind of antiquated, but hey, if that's your thing, go for it. But this is what I'm hearing, at least, is to be like an on-air talent. And in that regard, I think Emily Rand leaves a lot to be desired. I have not seen a ton of her, so maybe I'm wrong about this. I'll have to see how the LCS season goes. I guess maybe she's made some big strides or big improvements or whatever. But I believe it was the 2018 offseason show that she did for ESPN, where that was kind of the first time I'd really seen her on camera, like trying to be a personality, trying to make content. And I was not a fan. I did not think she was very well spoken. Maybe even a little like awkward or, just the biggest thing was I did not think she was very well spoken. I believe she has a great talent for communicating the game, but I think it is through written. I think it is through like text and stuff. From what I've heard, again, that is where I've seen the most hype for her, that she writes amazing articles. She has a big fan base on Twitter. She had a lot of people who liked reading articles on ESPN and stuff. But as far as an on-air talent, again, maybe I'll see some things that change my mind. Maybe she'll have some awesome segments, or maybe she'll, maybe she's grown and improved over the last couple of years, because that could definitely happen. But at least from the little bits I've seen of her, I'm not impressed with her as an on-air talent. And that's not to shit on her or anything, but that's just my opinion. Next up, we have Alorum, who I am going to put in the C tier. I think he is good. He's pretty well-spoken, kind of funny, obviously great knowledge of the game as a professional player, just as recently as last split. But he is very, very inexperienced as like an on-air talent. You can tell he does not have the speaking background in like presentation or anything like that. And I think this is a guy with a ton of potential because I think he has great energy. I think he can be pretty funny. I think sometimes he tells some jokes that maybe miss and his humor is a little bit off and not everyone gets the joke or really understands him and stuff. But the little bits I've seen him in the LCS, I think he does have a bright future ahead of him. But right now, I would put him below some of these more experienced guys who have been around, who have done it. This is something where you can absolutely get better with practice, and I believe anyone can be a good on-air talent. But I don't know if Alorum is there yet. I don't know how high of expectations I have for him this season. We'll see how that goes. Next up, we have Azael, who I think is an easy A tier for me. I don't think he's in that top S tier. I don't think he's the completely irreplaceable guys. But Azael is pretty much as good as they go. One, we got the Bald Brotherhood, I got a rep for him. Hopefully I look like him one day. But also, he's very, very talented, super knowledgeable about the game, one of the best analysts that they have. He's super good on the broadcast. He can be chill, he can be funny, he can also be super, super high energy in those hype moments. He makes a lot of awesome content for Riot. He seems pretty versatile. He is one of my favorites to watch, honestly. He has great synergy with a lot of the other casters. And yeah, this is a guy that I'm always excited to see on the broadcast, but I don't think he's quite in that completely irreplaceable tier. He is very well practiced, and I believe he's, learned a lot during his time. But I don't know if he has some of the, just straight natural gifts that maybe some of the other guys have. But Azael's a guy I like a lot. Next, we have Captain Flowers. This guy is an easy S++ tier for me. The best LCS caster, on-air talent, whatever you want to call it, in my opinion. This guy is the absolute most replaceable asset, or most irreplaceable asset, my bad, that the LCS has. I think Captain Flowers is the best. He has everything. He talks extremely well. He is the most creative with his language. He is hilarious. He is high energy. He just gets it. He's one of the guys where you're like, oh, it just feels like I'm sitting on the couch watching this game with one of my friends, and that's exactly what people want. He is professional. He can do that stuff as well. He is the most versatile, high energy, just natural born charismatic guy. And yeah, it's been awesome to watch him come up in the scene and develop and get more and more talented and comfortable over time. But Captain Flowers is the absolute best in my opinion. Next up, we have Crumbs. We go from the very top of the league to the very bottom of the league. In my opinion, Crumbs is the most replaceable person in the LCS. In my opinion, he should not even be on the broadcast. I really don't get it. To me, for being a former pro, I mean, he was a pro a long time ago. He has some of the worst game knowledge of any of the analysts. Oftentimes, I hear him saying things that I'm just like, that is not even true. That is absolutely false, or I can't believe he just said that. He has the weirdest opinions. I don't believe he's particularly well spoken. I don't believe he's particularly funny. I don't believe he's particularly charismatic. I mean, he has a good smile. He's decent at speaking. But this is supposed to be like your former pro analyst guy, and I don't get it. I think he is the most overrated. He is my least favorite. I do not like seeing him on the broadcast. And again, that's just my opinion. I'm sure there's people out there that love Crumbs. There definitely is, because he has a big fan base. And he has had some good moments, but in my opinion, he is the lowest rated person for me. Yeah, I think they could definitely do better than Crumbs. Next up, we have Dash, who is another S tier for me. Dash is absolutely great. I think he is so extremely talented as a host. I know people talk about it a lot, but he has like that theater acting background, and you can absolutely tell this guy is amazing at speaking. He has some of the same gifts as Captain Flowers, where he is very, very creative with his language. He can be extremely professional, but also he can be a little crazy. He can be a little funny. When they make content, he's like dancing around, telling jokes, all that stuff. Extremely witty, just quick to the punch, and seems to just help everything flow and orchestrate everything so well. Dash is a guy I absolutely love. I think he would be very, very difficult to replace. When I watch other esports and stuff, there's not a lot of hosts doing what he's doing in anywhere in LOL esports, but also in other esports as well. He is definitely a guy that could, he has the talent to do like professional sports or broadcasting in general of anything he wanted to. This guy is extremely talented, one of my favorites, and definitely one of the GOATs of the LCS. Next up, we have Kobe, who rounds out my final S tier pick. Kobe is just great. He's another guy who has insane game knowledge, insane charisma. He's hilarious. He has high energy, knows when to be hyped, knows when to not be hyped. This is one of the guys who is very, very blunt. He keeps it real. If something's boring, if something sucks or whatever, he'll let you know. But if something's good, something's great, you're going to hear about it from him. He does awesome content with Riot. Definitely one of my favorite casters as well. Also, I would definitely put Jat up in this S tier conversation. But I think these are the three best guys that the LCS has to offer right now. Then we have Pastry Time. He is a C tier for me. I don't mind him at all. I do enjoy his cast, but to me, he's a step down from the people in the B tier. I think he is a little bit replaceable, and it already seems like Riot is not phasing him out, but it seems like he's being used a little bit less and less. He's a good play-by-play, but he doesn't add a ton of the broadcast, and really, I think anybody could do what he does. You wouldn't really notice. Next up, we have Freak. This is a very, very controversial guy and a hard one to place. Freak has gone through many, many stages. If you look at like Pun Freak, I would have him, maybe a little bit lower, a little bit down here. But recently we have had like Savage Freak. Also another, so Pun Freak I would say is like D tier. There was also a time where there was like Screaming Freak, where he would just yell about everything, like get fake hyped about everything. It could be Dignitas against Golden Guardians, week 10. Both teams are 2-8, and it's 10-0, and Dignitas gets like their first kill of the game, and Freak is just screaming like, oh my god, that was the most insane play I've ever seen. And that was so annoying to me. I hated that stretch that he went through, but he did come out of that. I don't think he does that as much anymore, when I've seen him at least. But Savage Freak to me is solidly in the B tier. This is a guy that I think he's come a long way. I think he's he's tried out different things. He's always experimenting, and I don't mind him right now. And his Savage stuff is honestly pretty funny. He's come a long way from being, again, one of my least favorite casters to honestly pretty middle of the pack, and I don't mind him at all. I even would consider putting him in A tier, because I think he is very, very talented and just has a ton of experience, and that's hard to replace. Next up, we have Rivington, who is going to be in the D tier for me. This is a guy who back in the day I thought was very, very talented. I was very impressed with him. Well-spoken, cool dude, seems like. But he's gotten worse and worse over the years in terms of game knowledge and speaking and stuff. It doesn't seem like he's really been as practiced or anything like that, which is kind of weird. It seems like Valorant is his game. It seems like he's an FPS guy, and it seems like he is going to be moving on to that world eventually. And I thought that would be happening sooner rather than later, but obviously they're bringing him back for the LCS this year. Yeah, I don't know. I used to like him, don't really like him anymore. I think he's D tier. I think he's very, very replaceable. Does have kind of a cool voice though. And then we have High, who I also have in the D tier. High did some content for the LCS a while back. He was on the analyst desk for like a whole split. And I thought it didn't go very well. I did not think he was very interesting or exciting or energetic or really anything on the analyst desk. I didn't think he added very much to the broadcast. And then we didn't see him on the desk for a while. And I thought that's because they kind of decided that, yeah, things were working out. We need to go in a different direction. But now they're deciding to bring him back, which I think is a little bit weird. I thought they already tried this and it didn't work. I don't know. I liked High as a player and I like him just in general, but I did not love him as an on-broadcast talent. It's Primal. This is a guy who, honestly, I know nothing about. I had never really even heard of him before. I hope he's dope. I hope he adds something to the LCS, but again, I don't really know enough about him to kind of rate him at all. And then finally, we have Avali May, who is not on the LCS broadcast team. Probably could have thrown Jat on here too, because he's not on here either. Jat would have been S tier for me. But I do think Avali May is A tier. I know she is very polarizing. People either love her or hate her because she's kind of over the top, kind of ridiculous, kind of does some stupid stuff. I don't know. Sometimes people think she's really funny or people think she's really dumb. But to me, I love that she has energy. She has that natural charisma, and she's always willing to push the boundaries. She is willing to try new things. And we've seen it. Even though she got removed from the LCS last year, she still went and made kind of independent content with all these different teams. I know she's done stuff with Team Liquid. I saw her video got like 1 million views the other day. She's great, and I really think the LCS should have brought her back because, yeah, I think she provides something that a lot of these other people don't and can't. And I think the LCS is kind of missing something exciting, something fun, something different like that in a good way. Because they've tried some different stuff that has been very, very bad, but I think she's different in a good way. And I think she adds something to the broadcast. But there it is, guys. This is it. This is my LCS caster tier list, LCS on-air talent, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. That's what I think headed into the 2021 season. Again, this is something that could change. Just as the players and teams change, people can get better, people can get worse, people can be surprising, people can, if they practice all offseason, people could come out and you can have a big year even as a caster, which is kind of funny to say, but it's definitely true. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you drop a like again. I would appreciate it a ton. It really helps me out the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment down below. What do you think I got right? What do you think I got wrong? Who's your favorite? What would your tier list look like? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!